labeled this the Nico Iamaleava drama. I just realized Nico Iamaleava saga probably would have been better, but it's okay. It's okay. Ted, we've got our first big college football holdout, and oh boy, did this. I don't think this turned out the way that Nico and his camp thought it would. My goodness, what a story coming out of Knoxville.
Yeah. Um,
Should I explain it real quick?
yeah,
There's
lay it
some
out
people
for
that may
those that,
not know
yeah,
what's going on. Maybe they live under a rock, or they've only been watching the Masters. That's it. They've looked at nothing else.
they only get their college football news here.
Well, there you go. Okay, so Thursday on threes, Pete Nakos reported that Tennessee and Nico were in contract negotiations. Also, you saw a report from Matt Zenitz that Nico went to a dinner at our guy Joey Halsley's house that night and was acting normal, even as all this news was breaking. Nico's dad and Nico's manager even came out on Twitter that day and they called Pete Nakos a liar. They called him worse than that also. And then on Friday, Nico doesn't show up for practice. Tennessee has their spring game Saturday. Josh Heupel afterward, or even before that happens, it comes out Tennessee was moving on from Nico Iamaleava, and Nico would enter the transfer portal. Now, the reporting was that, hey, he was going to make somewhere like in the $2.5 million range this year, and his camp wanted that up to the $4 million range. Oops.
Yeah. Um, I first of all, let me say that the best move in all of this, and I imagine hopefully some college football teams learned from this. The best thing that happened was Tennessee, whenever they came asking for money, they put it out there to be reported, right? And whenever everyone knew about it, that's why they were mad and calling people liars because the timing, like not even, I'm not even talking about the timing putting Tennessee's back against the wall right before the transfer portal window opens. I'm talking about the timing being you can't find a single fan in college football that is happy with NIL and transfer portal. Everyone hates it. Everyone is sick of it. So whenever all that news comes out, you immediately become the good guy in this situation when you're Tennessee, right?
Feels that way. It feels like now there are some people, hey, it is with the way that the system is set up, it is okay for Nico to ask for more money. There's no harm in asking. He hasn't earned more money. He has not earned a raise by the way that he has played, but I don't think asking for more money was a mistake. The mistake was how his camp handled the entire situation. This this should have never become public. And it sounds like this is something they were trying to get done in December before that portal window opened. And a little birdie told us he may have tried to pull something before the Alabama game last season.
Yeah, it sounds like this has kind of been an ongoing thing, right? Like, this isn't the first time that he's asked for more money, since he signed his NIL deal originally, and it sounds like their go-to is to use the calendar or the current situation as a heavy piece of their leverage, right? The or else whenever you're in the 11th hour is not how people really like to handle things.
Listen, them asking for money, I really have no problem with it. But there's a way to do business and there's a way not to do business. And Nico Iamaleava and his dad and whoever else has been involved in these decisions, they just went about it the wrong way.
Well, I this
Eh,
is why you don't have your parents that don't have experience in this world negotiate and represent you, because any big time agent, legitimate agent knows that, like, people talk, and you don't go and try and strong arm people and leverage people in the 11th hour, because, like I said, word gets out. People don't want to deal with people that are going to do that. You know, I don't know where he ends up, and maybe someone pays him his 4 million. I will be shocked if that happens. But,
I
like, you have to go to donors to get this money. And donors are going to say, why would I pay $4 million for a guy when it may be $5 million the day before the season starts or the day before our biggest game? Like, I'm not going to commit money for that. No, I mean, I'm not. I'll commit money for someone who wants to be here and be a part of our story moving forward, not that's just looking for the next biggest payday and will leave at any given moment. I mean, that that's where the inexperience of his representation just, I think, buried him on this deal. No one's going to want to touch this deal right now, right?
no, and I have no idea where he's going to land. He's a talented guy. Like he's an extremely talented guy, and let's be real, he's underachieved with how talented he is up to this point in his career. But
Yep.
somewhat maybe someone will get desperate. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near what he was looking for from Tennessee.
Well, I mean, there, in December or whenever, there may have been, 10 other fish swimming around out there. And when there's a lot of people interested, the number remains high. But after all of this mess, like, the amount of people that are in the bidding pool has dramatically dropped off. Just, I mean, they found their guy. The timing is a little bit different. There may be people that are desperate, but, he's also become desperate at this point. All right, so that number is going to drop down. I mean, the supply and demand formula has changed. Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. Schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days. And head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. It's the perfect spot to watch any big game. And with all the garage locations being open at 10 p.m. or later every night, it's the go-to late night spot. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you and order online from the garage in your neighborhood. Insurica has launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
I know it's probably highly unlikely, but come on, man, it would be pretty hilarious if he entered the portal and just no one offered him. Like
Yeah.
if college football as a whole just colluded against him.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I guess it could end up looking like that, but I mean, I think everyone's got an honest leg to stand on. Like, you know what? With the negative media attention that's surrounding this deal, like, we don't want to become the villain in college football right now. Like, yeah, he could give us an opportunity to win some extra games, which, I mean, that's the thing is, you mentioned it. He has underachieved up to this point. That doesn't mean that he's got a bunch of great physical traits and he's got a super high ceiling, but it hasn't shown up yet. I mean, his numbers last year, Tennessee had a really good defense and a really good running game. He was not the focal point of their offense at all.
As the kids say, he was mid.
Mid, that's right.
I mean, you look at the stats: 63%, 2,600 yards. He threw for 19 touchdowns and five interceptions. Of those 19 touchdowns, 11 of them came against Chattanooga, UTEP, and Vandy.
Yep.
In SEC play, he threw 9 touchdowns. 4 of them were against Vandy.
Yep. He was 10th in the SEC in passing.
He does not deserve a raise. And I don't know how you don't have more awareness if you're Nico Iamaleava and you're his family.
Inexperienced. They
It's
just don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
and one of the things is, I'm seeing a lot of people, blame his dad, blame family friends, but ultimately Nico's an adult. The blame goes on him. We are past the point where we can't say, hey, this college football player deserves criticism. Like, those days are over, man. Right. This guy's trying to squeeze every dollar out of Tennessee and asking for $4 million when he has not played particularly well.
Yep.
If it was his dad and his family and whoever else's idea and it wasn't his idea and he's just going along with what they say, well, guess what? He needs to sack up and say, Dad, chill, we're not doing this.
His best move would, like, the next headline that comes out of this story should be Nico hires X agency for representation. That would be the best headline for him, because it puts the onus somewhere else and says that he's standing alone and feels like he was led into a bad situation. That would help him tremendously.
This is something that you learn once you get to the National Football League, and it may not feel this way for some of these college players. Your agent works for you. You do not work for them. You make the decisions. Now, they advise you. They try to use their expertise, their experience to guide you in the best way possible. But you are their boss. They work for you. And that's the problem with having your dad as your agent.
Yeah.
Is that dynamic is not there because he's your dad.
Yep.
And that's where it's Nico, and maybe this was all Nico's idea. Maybe he was the mastermind behind all this. I don't know. Right. But in this situation, you have to be able to tell your agent, even though it's your dad, to chill out. That you're not doing it this way. And as uncomfortable as that may be, like, it's something you have to do. Because in that capacity, your dad works for you. He's not your dad. He's your agent. And that is why, like you mentioned, Ted, typically not a good idea unless your dad is a certified agent.
I mean, I'm sure that there's examples of where that dynamic has worked out just fine for people.
No doubt.
But there's probably way more instances where it has not worked out fine for people. And here's the thing, like, you're right. He's your agent. He's not your dad. Like, that relationship matters, which goes back to the point. This situation right here is a great example as to why you have to have a GM in college football right now, because that relationship between player and coach is ruined in this deal, right? You need your player negotiating with the GM to where the coach, you can play the good cop, bad cop. You can be the coach and be like, man, I'm going to bat for you. I want to get you a raise. Like, we're having that discussion right now, and I'm telling you, I'm in your corner. We want you. I'm trying to get the money for you. Like the coach is on your side in the deal, right? Instead of when the coach is a part of the negotiation, it affects the player coach relationship. There's no way that it doesn't. It's why you have to be able to separate it out right now.
And that was probably the most significant thing I took away from our interview with Jim Nagy during the Crimson Combine.
Yeah.
I I asked him about the Tennessee situation and how to avoid that at OU. And he said early that morning he fired off a text to the entire staff like, this can't happen here. And he talked about the importance of getting to know the players as people, but also, maybe more importantly, getting to know their families and what they're all about. He said, because if something like this is going to happen, usually there's red flags along the way.
I mean, I would say if I'm a recruit in high school, I would learn from this situation about having people close to you as your representation, right? Like if I'm a high school kid and my dad has been involved in the conversations with how much I'm going to get paid and everything, which I can understand at that age, but it better plant a little bit of a seed there that we I think we need legitimate professional help and representation in this deal because the university side of things are going to be looking at that as a huge potential red flag down the road.
I think Nico Iamaleava and the people helping him make these decisions cost him millions of dollars.
And maybe more than that.
Maybe tens of millions of dollars. Because you got to remember, and that's why this feels like very short-sighted decision making to me. Josh Heupel is a great quarterbacks coach. He's developed a ton of quarterbacks and sent them to the NFL. The guy got Joe Milton drafted, okay? But now Nico's got to go to wherever he lands. He's got to go learn a new offense, get comfortable in that offense, learn all the new terminology. Hopefully, and is where he lands. Are they going to have playmakers like Tennessee has?
Well, how is the locker room going to accept that?
I can't imagine he's going to walk in and be Mr. Congeniality.
That's what I'm saying. Like you've got to go convince an entire locker room that they can invest in you, right? As someone that's going to go to bat for them. That's not just there for the moment and looking to hit the portal. And he's not the first guy to do this, but it's playing out nationally like no other situation has. Like he is going to be in 100% damage control mode wherever he ends up. And I don't know where that's going to be. I have a feeling that it's not going to be at any of the big players. That could be wrong. I mean, someone brought it up whenever I was doing my radio show that North Carolina could be an interesting spot. Like they had money to throw around. Like they supposedly offered Mateer more money than Oklahoma did. And I think, did they end up landing like the quarterback from Purdue? I think they're still in the market for a guy. So like North Carolina may be a spot, but outside of that, I don't know that any of the big teams are going to take the hit that it's like when you bring him in, there's going to be a ton of questions and it's going to place a ton of heat on everyone involved. The coaching staff, the GM, athletic director, anyone who decides to marry themselves to that situation is putting a lot of undue pressure on all the parties involved.
I just think if this entire situation ends up being the difference of him being like the 10th pick of the draft versus the 20th pick of the draft, then this was a massive, massive mistake. Because that is millions and millions and millions of dollars. Like he has NFL talent. And we all now it's all got to come together. He's got to make better decisions when the football. Hey, when it's fourth in the game, buddy, you can't run out of bounds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Arkansas, Tennessee from a year ago.
Hey, and you know this like I do. When people have a if the feeling on Nico is he is an unbelievable locker room guy. I mean, he is all about the right things. This is the type of guy we love to have leading our program. Well, whenever that's what they're hearing, they view the film differently than if your bias of the guy is he's a bad locker room guy. All he's ever doing is leveraging people for money. Now all of a sudden you start to find reasons to not draft the guy instead of reasons to draft the guy. So, I mean, that's already something that he's going to have to, try and bounce back from. And I don't know. It's like, in a weird way, this could be one of the better things to happen to college football in a while, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
If you're a player and you've been thinking about leveraging the transfer portal situation, like the negative fallout that's coming to Nico from this deal probably makes you think twice about it a little bit.
Oh, there's no doubt. There are other guys that were going to try to do something similar in the next couple of days that are no longer going to try to do that because of this.
And I think that schools may have learned a lot by how Tennessee took it to the press early in the situation, because that's the only thing that really flipped this into their favor. From a, or like they got it out there quick and got people on their side quick.
Here's a quote from Hype after their spring game. This program has been around for a long time. There are a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players who came before that laid the cornerstone pieces, the legacy, the tradition that is Tennessee football. It's going to be around a long time after I'm gone and after they're gone. Now, he also thanked Nico and what he did for the program, but he also added, there's no one that's bigger than the Power T. That includes me. And as I kept hearing these words come out of his mouth when I watched it, Ted, it's basically exactly what Bob Stoops used to tell us in team meetings, like almost word for word. It was as if he was channeling his head football coach from college. Like it was almost eerie how similar it was to some of the stuff Bob told. I'm sure told you guys just like he told us.
Yeah, and it's the same message Coach Stoops had whenever he came in as interim coach. Whenever Lincoln left Southern Cal, is hey, this program is way bigger than one man. Always has been, always will be. That's right. I mean, and that's how you have to approach it. And I think it was smart of Hype. Like he very easily could have gone in front of a mic and said, "This is BS. This is not how you handle things." Like to ambush us at this time. Like he could have said a bunch of things, but he thanked him for his time, says he's a good player, was happy to have him around and have coached him. He made them better. Like he said all the right things.
Handled it very, very well. I think in this entire situation, I think Josh Heupel came out as the winner.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fan base, I think the vast majority of Tennessee's fan base is like, hell yeah, Heupel, that's what we do. No one's gonna ambush us.
Right. Yeah.
I think he handled it about as well as he could. The last thing I want to say about this entire situation, and we've talked about this before on here, but at some point, these college football players need to realize that there is a lot of value. It may not be something that shows up in your bank account, but there's a lot of value in having a place to call home once you're done playing. And Tennessee fans from the very beginning had Nico Iamaleava's back. That whole thing, the initial reporting, the $8 million deal, the attorney general of Tennessee going to bat for him. That whole fan base rallied behind him. And then he tries to pull this. And now he's out. And now, instead of being a Tennessee legend that every time he comes back feels that love and being able to bring your family around and feel that love and have it feel like home, that's never happening. Over what?
Over what? Like you can't if you are a big time player, you cannot put a price on that. Like how much money that is actually worth, you can't put a price tag on it. Like I don't know how much money Jason White's made off the Air Comfort Solutions situation, but like that's about the easiest paycheck you could ever have. I and you don't like you get that by being an iconic player somewhere at a big school that is well known, that has a huge fan base, that is crazy about football and their stars and legends that have played there. There's statues all over campus, right? I don't know where he's going to end up, but it ain't going to be anywhere with a fan base like Tennessee has.
And now, not only is he not going to be a Tennessee legend, he's going to be a punchline for that fan base.
Yep.
And it's of his own making.
Unfortunately.
Let's finish up. Oop.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Just going to say, like, I hope that this is a a big learning moment for the rest of college football players to see like how important it is to have a huge fan base on your side, and like what that value is. It's hard to quantify, but it's more important than the instant however much money you're going to make. And it's maybe not true for every player, but for a lot of big time players, if you're in the right spot, it's worth way more money extended all the way through the rest of your life to have a home like that, for sure.
The PR nightmare, and now the uncertainty of where he's going to end up, what the system looks like, what the weapons around him are going to look like. There's no way this was worth it. There's no way. Irreparable damage to his reputation. Can you really put a price on it? Everyone
You're
making fun of you and your family.
You're definitely going to be able to put a price on it for him, because I doubt he's going to get what he was making already at Tennessee. I would say he's definitely not getting the $4 million. I could be wrong. Maybe someone ponies up that money. I could be wrong, but like his is a situation where you probably will be able instantly to see that it's costing money.
Hire a real agent and hire whoever has helped DeChambeau become maybe the most popular player in golf. Go hire whatever PR firm has been helping him. Go find that group.
Coming tomorrow, Nico tries to throw a ball into a trash can over his house every day until he gets it done on YouTube.
Coming tomorrow on Breaking 50, Nico Iamaleava with Bryson DeChambeau.
Nico and President Trump try to throw ball through tiny hoop.
It'll be. I don't have ill will for the young man, but just what a mistake. Now, hey, maybe he ends up making us all look like idiots. Maybe he goes somewhere, he balls out, and he's the first pick of the draft. He has the talent for that to happen. But you also have to remember, this just doesn't vanish once he goes somewhere else. This follows him. The weight of this follows him, and that affects you, whether he will realize it or not. The weight of this, like, it will hover over him like a black cloud.
I imagine that he has noticed over the past 24 or 48 hours.
I would assume you're correct.